I would like to share what my greatest accomplishments are. This is something that's really good to do if you're trying to be successful, if you're trying to accomplish things, or anything else that's going through your life right now. It's always good to take a moment and reflect back to your past and think, wow, I have really improved tremendously over the years. I've gotten to be such a better person. So if you take a moment to do that, then you will realize, yeah, you have come a long way. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to share with you a little bit about my own accomplishments, what I've been able to achieve, because honestly, it is quite remarkable. It really is. Like, I just think back a year ago, completely different person. 5 years ago, whoa. 10 years ago, oh man. 15 years ago, oh. Of course, as we age, we learn new lessons. That is how life is. If you're not learning lessons, maybe not necessarily every single day, but if you're not learning lessons over time, then what are you doing with your life? You're not paying attention to what the lessons life is giving you. So, let's look back. Let's think back to my life and all of the accomplishments that I have, because I have a lot of accomplishments that I'm very proud of, that I'm very happy with. And there's still things today that I'm learning, and it's absolutely incredible. And I absolutely am looking forward to where I'll be in another few years. So I'm always optimistic, always have new skills and abilities that I'm learning. And I know that I will learn it. I will learn it. It just takes some time. It just takes some time. So many years ago, when I was much younger, even as a kid, I couldn't manage my emotions. I had a very difficult time managing my emotions. So that's when I found, like in my teenage years, meditation. I found meditation. I found self-hypnosis. I was very dedicated even back then to being able to become more relaxed and achieve what some of my goals were. So even when I was very young, here's a very good example, and I think this was probably one of the most profound things that had happened to me, because if you look where I am now, oh man. When I was in school, in pretty much my entire life growing up, doing presentations in front of class, I was extremely nervous about it. I could not do it. I just tightened up. It was such an awful feeling. But look where I am now. Here I am, with millions of people watching. So many people have seen my videos over the years. And I'm like, I actually broadcast this out to the world. How did I get there? Well, it certainly didn't happen overnight. But I did a self-hypnosis way back then. It's basically like a form of meditation where it was primarily focused on confidence with public speaking. I did that multiple times to retrain my mind to be able to speak confidently. Did that a few times because I had a big presentation coming up. And when I gave that presentation in front of class, my anxiety levels and stress levels were greatly reduced. It wasn't like 100% gone, but it was tremendously reduced, to the point where I actually asked the teacher for extended time during the presentation. So I'm like, wow, absolutely amazing. What are some other things? Well, I think another major thing, a major accomplishment that I have achieved is my transition even. Transitioning from male to female. This was another major accomplishment of mine, because before I even did it, I would have these ideas of how I want things to be. And while things are not 100% as I envision them, it is relatively close. It's like I've had a reflection recently. It's like, wow, that's almost basically exactly what I asked for. And even with that, I did a form of self-hypnosis with that. Because when I was still living as a male, I would think about, I'm never going to be a beautiful female. I would look at other people online, all these other male to female trans people, and I would be like, I'm never going to look as good as them. How could someone like me be as attractive as they are? How beautiful that they are? And yet, I focus on the meditation, on the self-hypnosis to become my true authentic self, imagining my ideal female self, who I wanted to be. Every single day I was doing this, and I walked into that light of who this person I envisioned was, and I became that person. And then eventually, over time, I actually became that female that I had envisioned. It was absolutely incredible. So that was another major accomplishment of mine, that I was able to be who I felt as though I truly was. And here I am, living today, that I have been able to achieve that. What's another accomplishment that I have achieved? Pretty much since I was maybe in my early 20s or so we're talking like 15 years ago now or so, I've always had a passion to be able to help people. Even probably when I was younger, I had some sort of passion to help people. So when I started this YouTube channel about 12 years ago at this point, and now I've branched out into many other avenues as well. But I just had the idea in my mind. It's like, I have all these ideas in my mind of how I want to help people. I need to be able to help people. How do I do it? So that's when I was like, I need to make videos. Other people need to watch. Other people need to hear what I have to say, because I have a very powerful voice. So that, combined with my confidence, my public speaking abilities that have increased, I've been able to do that. As I said earlier, millions of people have watched my videos over the years. So I am very, very happy about that, because I've reached so many people who have been able to listen to what I have to say, and maybe they don't immediately get what I'm trying to say, but over time they begin to say, that person that I watched online, they really resonated with me to some degree. So, yeah. All right. So what else? What else is something? Well, managing my emotions has been it's been a bit of a challenge for me at various points throughout my life. But I feel as though something that has really helped me, actually, is really being able to manage finances. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how are the two related? How does that make any sort of sense? Well, once you start to learn about investments and the stock market and like stock trading, even, where you have to really manage your emotions so you're not like panic when you're buying and selling and all this sort of stuff, like, oh gosh, everything's going down, everything's ruined, oh, everything's going up. It's like, oh yes, so amazing. And then it's just, over the years of me doing that, managing those types of portfolios and stock trading accounts and everything, it has been something that has really helped me manage my own emotions. Because I have to put the brakes on and basically say, I can't get overly emotional about this. I can't be overly emotional negatively or positively. You can't have that fear of missing out, as you call it. So that has greatly helped me manage my emotions, because I can see things so much clearer now. I view things more objectively. I view things more logically. And while emotions still cloud my judgment from time to time, I take a step back and just try to listen to my logic and my intuition. What do those things say? And I feel as though managing the finances has greatly helped with that. It's really interesting how two seemingly unrelated things have been greatly beneficial for my overall well-being. What is another thing that has been a major accomplishment for me as well? I would say another thing is, I had so much fear of other people looking at me, viewing me, that I would really hide myself when I was, especially prior to me transitioning. So that has opened me up a lot. But I still could never really be the center of attention. It was like, I really don't want people to look at certain parts of my body. Maybe they're judging me or whatever. That's a common fear probably most people have. Let's be honest. So several years back, I actually started to do modeling, portrait modeling where students are drawing me. So I have to just be perfectly still, and they draw me, they study, my face or my body or whatever. And that has given me a huge confidence boost as well, because I'm literally in front of a class where other people are scrutinizing every little part. What I look like, how my hair is, how my hands are, whatever, how my body is shaped, what I'm wearing, if something is out of place. So that has given me a major confidence boost as well, that I'm very confident on as well, because initially I was just terrified. It's like, I'm literally the center of attention here. I'm in front of this class, even though the classes are not all that big. I'm basically the center of attention where other people have to look and scrutinize everything. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, how do I do it? I managed to do it. It's absolutely amazing. And the last thing that, all these things, mind you, they're all still being worked on. You're never complete with the growth that you go through. You're always learning and growing. So really the latest thing that I'm learning and growing, really starting to feel accomplished with, is just learning Japanese, learning a different language. Now I had already knew very, very basic, very, very some Japanese when I was much younger. I learned a little bit when I was maybe in my early 20s or so, or maybe like 18 or 19. Maybe I learned a little tiny bit. So I knew a little tiny bit back then. But I really wanted to learn it ever since I was probably maybe like 12 or 13 or so, when I was very, very young. I remember taking Spanish class, and I didn't want to learn that. I wanted to learn Japanese all the way back then. Didn't do that obviously way back then, but as I said, I did learn some in my late teens or early 20s or so. But it just, everything kind of just faded away. Didn't really think much about it. But then I started to really get an interest in it again. And mind you, I'm someone who had taught myself programming languages. That, while that's not a spoken language, if you know programming languages, especially like website programming languages, so I was already familiar with the way that languages are, even if it's not spoken. So the way that I'm approaching Japanese, it's very, very similar in that sense, where it's like, okay, why are things this way? Why are things structured this way? And I try to figure some things out. Some things don't make sense, obviously, but that's just another major learning lesson for me that I'm very proud with, because it hasn't been all that long, but I'm just really, really happy with it. That I'm able to be learning something that I'd always wanted to do for a very, very long time. And me being able to accomplish those skills. And ultimately, because most people will give up if you're learning another language, especially when you're older. If you're trying to learn a new skill, especially when you're older, people give up. As you know, with me, I'm not someone who ever gives up. I make mistakes and I learn from those mistakes. I realize what I've done wrong and I learn from those mistakes. And I see like, oh man, there's so much more to go, so much more to learn. But, I am not intimidated by that. So whenever you're learning a new skill, I always view it as there's so much to learn. There's so much. You feel overwhelmed. And if you just let time do its thing, just keep practicing every day, keep learning every day, over time you will realize and reflect back like, wow, I have really come a long way. I've really learned a lot of stuff. So, like if I was learning to play a musical instrument, I would just hop right in. Just like fool around, see what I'm doing or whatever. It's like, it's going to be like garbage, probably initially, but you got to do it. Same thing with learning a a lot of these other skills. I just like hopped right on in. It's like I didn't really go through any sort of training or whatever. I just, I just kind of hopped right on in. Same with like the Japanese as well. It's like, okay, start learning, you start listening, you start speaking it, you start communicating with other people who can understand you, and then you can understand them. So it is quite a remarkable thing what I've been able to do. So I just look back at my accomplishments, and that's what you have to do. Look back at your accomplishments. Hopefully this video was helpful to help you really realize that I've gone through a lot of accomplishments. I've achieved so much success, and guess what? You can as well. So stop slacking around. Get your stuff done. Make your checklist. Start doing the things, and whenever something feels too difficult, realize that that is a learning opportunity for you. So learn something, and you will achieve great success and accomplishments. So, yes, do it. Get out there and do it.